This is absolutely criminal.
Dun dun.
Well, hello everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Absolutely Criminal. I'm Andrew Martin, and right beside me, as always, is Tiffie Lou. What's going on, Tiffie Lou?
We're actually here live. That's exciting.
Yeah, we got our computer problems worked out.
Oh, I know.
We saw Donna make the longest perp walk ever.
Yeah,
so
that was fun.
The universe is right once again. Welcome to everybody. See, Bright Sun and Wesley John Holmes are here. Well,
what?
Exactly.
They're the only ones that have said anything. They don't have
No,
any other names.
I choked on my own
oh, you inhaled spit.
essence. Yes.
Oh, nice.
All right. So
Classy.
we're going to talk about that arrest, the arrest at the airport, and then also Dan Rashbaum was interviewed yesterday on Surviving the Survivor and had a few interesting answers. Which we'll talk about.
Really?
He couldn't talk about much.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised he could have answered anything. Isn't he like kind of like he can't say anything really?
Right. I mean, he said some things without really saying anything. We'll play the answers for you and let you decide what you think. And then of course we'll take a look at Wendi in the interrogation room. So, all right.
Oh, Lucy's here. Hey,
I love
Lucy.
Lucy. Nanya. Well, I guess all the cool people are here, so let's get started. We got comments of the day. All right. We have a couple of comments of the day, and then I'll show you the captions or the people that had captioned the photograph of Donna in the back of the cop car. This one says, as much as people hate on Rashi, when you consider how bad the defense's argument was, I have to say he didn't do a bad job with such a terrible story. Could any defense have done better with such a clearly obvious defense case? I'm really not convinced they could have.
Yeah, we've discussed this before. And as much as I like to trash on him,
Rashi.
He's not my favorite style of lawyer.
He's not Daniel Trashbaum. He's Daniel Rashbaum.
But it's true. If someone did show up and this was their story, and this, I guess he did whatever he could with that story, assuming that that's the only story he was given.
Right. Yeah, he did the best he could with what he did a decent job, I think.
Right.
Welcome, Sparkles.
And Aida, is that Aida? Am I spelling that? Am I saying that right?
Aida. I don't know. We'll find out shortly.
Yeah, please correct me. Is that Aida, JD? I mean, Sparkles. Will Sparkles tell me if I'm saying it right?
And then this is a fun one. Your quote unquote show sounds too much about you and you listening to yourselves, but that's just me. First of all, I don't know what
exactly what it is.
Right. Yeah.
I'm glad you noticed.
This is our vanity project. I don't know how else to but
Renee just got here. Hey, Renee.
Renee, welcome.
It is. It's totally us talking, well, I mean, we're not talking about ourselves, but we are listening to us talk. Yeah, I mean, that's.
And I think we are technically a show.
Well, yeah, we hit play. So, okay.
Right. And then we asked all of you to put the perfect caption on this photo when Donna was arrested in the back of the
Nanya came to our defense here.
That person needs to shut up.
It's just them, though. Don't worry.
All right. So let's see. We have a few good captions for these photos.
She looks dead.
Yes. Yeah. She probably wishes she was at the time of that photograph being taken. Predictably, there were a few Xanax options. This one says, "Thank God for my pre-flight Xanax."
I was going to say, she's ready to board. She probably already drugged up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she had to be.
Yeah.
Xanax, take me away. Xanax is the new Calgon. I wonder if they're going to try to take me to that same mirrored shit on the walls room that Charlie was in. Yeah.
Well, yeah, probably.
Right. Remember Charlie telling her there's shit on the walls and all that stuff when they were talking. But Charlie said this isn't how it's done. Remember Charlie?
Charlie. Oh, I just saw that. I thought you were saying it wrong until I saw
I
it.
think it was on the stand that he was educating us on how extortion is done.
Or at least how it worked for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Donna, just you wait until I get to speak to the manager, Judge, my lawyer. Then you will be sorry. This one says, "How can I wave to the peons with these silver bracelets?"
I know, I saw that one. Yeah.
Behind my back. That's a very valid question. It's something that probably is going through her mind. And then we have one more, and it happens to be Wesley John Holmes. He went to a dark place here, no pun intended, but damn, I hope Harvey remembers to throw away my toys.
Ew.
Yes. Well, in one of the jail calls, Charlie asked his friend to throw away his sex toys so his parents wouldn't have a heart attack when they came in.
Okay.
Right.
I'm like, I don't see them as ever having sex.
So I think it's a play on that. Well, they've had sex at least 4 times.
Back in the day,
yeah,
when they were young and figuring stuff out.
All right. So thank you for all your great captions on those photos. Yeah. Let's take a look at
look at Wesley asked. Yeah.
Did Charlie pay for Mummy's breast augmentation too?
I couldn't see asking my son to pay for a body enhancement.
Well,
The
hey,
boobs are so slight. If I didn't breastfeed you, it wouldn't be an issue. You should pay for that.
this is a family that takes care of each other.
Oh, yeah.
They pay for the hitman for his sister. So probably, there might be a community pool for such things.
A special little account for all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, a little Adelson rainy day fund. All right. Okay. So Donna's
welcome from the UK there.
Yeah,
Tracy's
welcome.
here.
This was being led down the hallway at the airport.
So long. I couldn't imagine having to walk across the whole airport.
Right.
This is humiliating.
It seemed like her gate was probably the furthest away possible from.
Well, and mine usually is. Especially
entrance,
if I'm late, my gate's the farthest one out.
Right. So here she is walking down the hallway, and something funny that one of our viewers pointed out, you'll see it here coming up in just a couple minutes on the right-hand side. If you look out the right-hand side of your airplane, you will see a store called, there it is, All Together Now.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And we're gradually getting all the Adelsons back all together now. We're getting the band back together. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, what a walk of shame, Wesley. Yep.
Man, it goes on forever.
It does.
I like the jazzy music.
And then, of course, she got out to the car. She was fed some water. They turned on the air conditioner for her. And, yeah. But what a fall from grace. You go from, the high life and this wealth to being paraded down the halls of an airport. Nunya says, how long can you be on the phone with a person? These people love to hear themselves talk.
That's
Charlie's
us.
just a blithering idiot. Yes. All right. So there she is, and legend has it Donna is still walking down that hallway today.
Uh-huh.
So she might make it to the end. But yeah, what stood out to you with her arrest video? I know that when she first was approached, they reached for her phone, and she, was very protective of her
Oh my
phone.
gosh, she did not want to give it up. She kept moving her hand around.
Yeah.
Not letting people grab it. And I'm just like, why didn't you at least make an attempt and empty it?
Right.
Like, I don't keep, but you know what? I'm weird. I don't keep texts or emails. I read them and I file them, and
yeah,
like that's it. So, but
well,
other
that was
people
one of
do.
the
Other people keep them forever.
that was one of the things Dan Rashbaum addressed yesterday, and I don't know how many of you haven't seen the interview on Surviving the Survivor. It's well worth taking a look at. But he was asked why she was so protective of her phone, and he says, all I can tell you is that I've looked at the phone and there's nothing incriminating on that phone, so it was just probably a reflex. And people react in weird ways. I've never been arrested at an airport before, so I don't know how I would react personally.
I've never been arrested.
Well, there is always a yet.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good point, Sparkles.
Imagine passing them in the airport, that elderly little lady with cuffs on and a law enforcement entourage. Yeah, we were thinking about that too.
I know. I was like, could you imagine if you're about to get on a plane and the little old lady in front of you gets arrested for murder?
Right. And you have a front row seat, or maybe you're a viewer of this trial, and you get a front row seat to see Donna arrested. I wonder how many people recognized her as she went by. I mean, she wasn't disguised or anything, but yeah, she. So Harvey went home, I'm sure, took his Xanax and chilled. Okay, so we'll play a few responses by Dan Rashbaum on the podcast.
Yeah.
One of the questions he was asked is why did Donna hire you, basically, after you just lost the case for Charlie? And here's what he had to say about that.
The jury goes back to deliberate. It's 3 hours or less. Guilty verdict. Not a good outcome for him. Why is Donna Adelson hiring you, do you think, after this pretty brutal loss?
That I'm not sure. I think she knows how well prepared we were, how hard we fought. And I'd like to think she trusts me. But I guess that would be a question for her one day. Right.
So you didn't answer the question. Great.
Yeah. So
awesome. So glad you came here today.
Yeah, he did the best with what he had. It was frustrating. It was like a police press conference, where the reporters have their hands up and they say, well, we really can't get into anything specific. So frustrating. Okay. Then Dan was asked, why wasn't there any family support for Charlie in the courtroom when he was on trial in his hour of need? Here's what he said.
If Harvey, Donna, Wendi are innocent, why weren't they in the gallery at Charlie's trial there to support him? I mean, this is their son, their brother.
So Wendi couldn't be in the gallery, obviously, because she was a witness at the trial. And let me just think about this for a second. Donna and Harvey were not there, but it wasn't their choice. That's what I can tell you. It was not their choice. And if anyone saw the gallery and all the people that were in the gallery, I think probably they would understand why. But I can assure you that Donna and Harvey were very supportive of Charlie.
So here's what I wondered when he said that. He said
did Charlie not want him there?
Either that, or he said, when you see the people in the gallery, you might understand. So was he saying that because the Markells were there and a
Oh,
lot
look
of
what Bonnie
supporters?
says, ew, Wendi could have been in the gallery when she testified. Lying sack of shit.
Well, yeah, she was precluded because she was actually a witness, so
Mhm.
she couldn't sit there and watch the rest of the trial. But certainly, it seems Donna and Harvey could have been
Mhm.
allowed to come. But is he saying that because of the people in the gallery, they couldn't come or wouldn't come?
Oh, here we go. The Adelsons didn't want to have to face the Markles.
Yep.
That's true, probably. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying. Yep. So they didn't show support for Charlie in the courtroom, but they showed even less support for Charlie when they ran to the airport with a one-way ticket to Vietnam.
Mhm. I'm here for you. You call us anytime. Did you pack my Xanax?
So exactly. So Rashi was asked about this, and here's what he had to say about Vietnam one-way ticket.
You know, this to me, and I'm not an attorney, reeks of consciousness of guilt. How problematic is it that they were on a flight to Dubai to try to get to Vietnam on a one-way ticket, Dan Rashbaum?
I mean, it doesn't reek of consciousness of guilt because her son had just been.
Who travels with a one-way ticket to a foreign land? No one that I know does that.
Well, there's various reasons to travel one-way tickets, right? I've done it before myself. Now, having said that, consciousness of guilt is when you know you're guilty of something and you are fleeing because of it. Okay. In this case, Donna Adelson has been a suspect in this case since 2016. She didn't go anywhere. Now, what had happened a week previously is her son had been convicted of a crime that she didn't believe he did. And he had been convicted of that crime rather quickly. And so as a result of that, this 73-year-old woman decided, I need to get away and I need to clear my mind and I need to go somewhere with my husband, right? And so the reality is it a good fact for her? No, it's not a good fact for her. I wish she had stayed put.
Yeah, so
yeah, you are like 50 Shades of Lies. That's crap. If I need a freaking vacation, I understand needing a vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. But the timing sucks. It's like literally right after he was convicted.
Mhm.
And two, like if you need to get away, Florida, just go to the Bahamas, or I mean, what are you doing going to Vietnam
Yeah,
with a
and
connecting flight in Dubai? I mean, come on. That's not getting away. You're full
Yeah.
of crap.
And he said he's traveled on a one-way ticket before, but didn't really give any specific instances as to why that would be convenient to do so. I wonder where they were going to stay when they got there, if they had anything set up. But
I have no idea.
yeah, they were certainly surprised. Let's see.
Yeah. Did they ask? Oh, that's a good question Sherry had. Yeah. The researching for the non-extradition, like they found that out, that she looked it up. She wasn't
Right.
looking to get away.
Right.
So does he ask him that or no?
Well, a question related to that. Yeah. Remember when Donna was caught on the recording saying, I asked Dan this morning about it. He said, you never know. You may make it. You may not.
You may make it. That's not a vacation.
Right.
Oh
So
my gosh.
he was asked this question, and here is his response to that, which I'm sure will leave you unsatisfied, but it's a response nonetheless.
So after speaking to Dan this morning and knowing what they're thinking up there, and I don't know if we'll make it out in time. I really don't. Because Dan said, you might, or you might do all of it, get to the airport, and they'll stop us. And that could happen. It could happen. I don't know, but it's worth a try.
Dan, I got to say, this doesn't look too good either, what they call a bad fact. From Patreon member Bobby, is it you that she is referring to? And did you have prior knowledge of her flight?
So I'm going to read what I've written here so I don't screw this up. Because I anticipated this question would come. I can't talk about what I said or didn't say because it's privileged. What I can say is that at the time Donna Adelson went to the airport, she was a free woman. What I can say is there was no indictment to anyone's knowledge. We know now there wasn't one. There was no grand jury that we knew was convened. We know now it wasn't convened till after. And there was no arrest warrant that was known of. In fact, we know the arrest warrant, I think, was just obtained hours before the flight. Again, she had offered to surrender at any point in time from 2016 on. I know that because I had made that offer. She did nothing wrong by going to the airport. Okay. Now, I cannot tell you what I advised her, what I knew, or what I didn't know.
Yeah, this one got Rashi a ton of hate yesterday, at least from some of the comments that I saw. Basically, what he's saying they were not charged with anything, so it was not a crime to go to Vietnam.
But if she was already a suspect since 2016, it sounds like she knew she wasn't allowed to get on a plane and go at least out of the country.
Yeah, I guess you would think that is sort of the implication, yet nothing legally prevented her from doing that. Now, it accelerated the arrest, certainly. I'm sure they weren't going to arrest her and charge her that night if she hadn't shown up there. But yeah, what do you all think about Dan Rashbaum's answers and
Humor
everything?
says that Dan advised them to go to a country that didn't extradite.
It sounds like the non-extradition was discussed. I don't know if they talked about it. Obviously, he's not going to get into it. But they also asked him if he's worried that he may have to be a witness, and so therefore he cannot represent Donna. But he said that doesn't seem likely to happen. It seems to think that this will be an inconsequential part of the...
Oh, that is bull. I think he just knows he's gonna lose. I can see it. Come on, he lost the last one. Is he gonna stick with the little story that he had to work with Charlie, or is he gonna change his mind?
Yeah, I don't know. Are you all with Tiffie Lou out there? Do you think that...
How is he gonna defend her?
I don't know, especially if they're going to go with the double extortion defense.
Oh, this is what Bonnie said. Yeah.
Rashi is going to get called to have to testify on his advice to flee, and then he will have to recuse himself. Yeah. I mean, that was my first impression of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. You know,
she's going to be another Sarah Boone, man. It's going to be years before she gets to trial. I bet you.
Oh, do you think so?
Honestly, if you think about it, I mean, he's too involved. He's involved more than just a lawyer. Like, some of the advice he gave is not, at this point, he needs to be a witness.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, we don't know what he did advise her to
and
do.
She's going to have to get another lawyer.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have to get another lawyer after that. And,
Yeah. He admits to having some affinity for the Adelson family, particularly Donna. He's quite fond of. And he seems to think, or he represented that he thinks that she's completely innocent.
He is full of crap. He's just saying that because he's her lawyer and he has to.
All right. So we have one last clip from that interview, and he was asked about that drive down Trescott Drive. That
right. Yeah.
Why the detour? What's going on with that? So here's what he said.
Why she was there, I guess, she's testified generally why she was there, which is the liquor store that she goes to is in that vicinity. She drives through that way. And Jeff Lacoste, something that didn't come out at the trial, that's come out in depositions and probably would come out at the next trial if this came up, is Jeff Lacoste has testified that they would drive down that road all the time, that Wendi has a bad sense of direction, that she would kind of use where she used to live as a guiding post as to where she was going. and that they would drive down that road a lot of times out of the way to get to places. But I don't know personally, other than what she testified to in trial, why she was on that road. Did it hurt Charlie at trial? I'm not sure. I've always seen it as a good fact. If you look at it in a neutral perspective, at least a good fact for Wendi. But I'm not sure that it was either a good or a bad fact for Charlie.
I will respectfully tell you, after looking at a map, that is not bad with directions. That's horrible, awful, or just utterly lost, because it's hard to end up there. Does Donna know?
The only thing I'll say, Joel, is having been a person who used to prosecute murder for hires. Two things about murder for hires is usually when you do a murder for hire, you do it because you don't want to be anywhere near the murder. So most people who do murder for hires, they don't then go down the road to, if they were going to do that, they do the murder for hire themselves, right? It's not consistent with a murder for hire.
Please, how many times has she done this, though? It's completely consistent.
Yeah.
And what about the questioning she had with wanting to know where Jeff was going to be and what time he was leaving and when he was going on his
other
trip?
Can of worms,
and all of this business. It's like none of this looks good for anyone in the family, Dan. I mean.
Well, and Joel, the interviewer here, did a really good job of not letting him off the hook. He asked follow-up questions. Like he said there, I looked at a map, and that's not just bad with directions. That's like
I got lost.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know where I am.
Different thing, and happened to end up there.
Happened to end up right on the street where my ex lives. Yeah.
So he did get the tough questions. I think Joel did better than most reporters I've seen in the mainstream media as far as questioning. Did a pretty good job with following up. Of course, Dan couldn't answer a lot of things, but yeah. So that's the explanation for Wendi driving by Trescott.
The crappy explanation that just does not make sense.
Yeah. Well, and like a lot of things, we're going to have to wait and see how all this shakes out and what new details we get. As we get closer to Donna's turn in the spotlight. We'll get more details as
will we, or will we get more lies?
Well, we'll get a mixture of things, but so there we go. Anyway, I thought it was a good interview. Go to Surviving the Survivor and check it out if you want to see. It was like a 2-hour interview. And even though he couldn't answer a lot of things, it's worth a watch. And speaking of worth a watch, if you think we're worth a watch, please hit thumbs up and consider subscribing. Mentor. Oh yeah.
Andrew watched that. Yeah.
Well, no, I heard him say that he's going to be interviewing.
Oh, but I thought you said you watched it.
No, I said that he's going to be interviewing Rashbaum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think Mentor Lawyer will ask the tough questions too. So
to get the same crappy answers, probably.
Yeah, we'll see, but I think it'll be a different kind of energy.
So when will Mentor Lawyers go up? We can all watch it maybe together.
Yeah, I don't know. If anybody out there knows when it's happening or if it's been set, let us know, because we'll watch that definitely. Yeah. That's going to be good. Mentor Lawyer has more of a personal kind of, hanging out.
You mean because he's a lawyer and in Florida?
Yeah. And I guess Rashbaum is a good tennis player. So I wondered if they played tennis together.
And maybe they'll play tennis via talk and a little conversation.
Yeah, there you go.
I serve, you respond.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. That is going to be fun.
Sparkle says we should see if he'll do an interview. I think Andrew's talked to him about doing an interview with us, and he said he would.
Yeah, he did.
We just need to set it up and find a good time.
Yeah,
he's already agreed to, Sparkle, so it should happen.
Yep,
we just don't know when.
Yeah, I just need to follow up. We've had a lot of things to do. Obviously, he's been incredibly busy, but he's good about getting back to us, and we should have him. Interview with him once he's free.
Yeah.
So
Are we
Rashbaum.
moving on to another Adelson?
Well, yeah, we're moving on to Wendi in the
Wendi.
interrogation room.
Wendi with an I.
And when last we left, she was speaking to one of her supporters and one of the victim advocates. And we're going to pick up here just before the detective walks back in the room. So we'll see what she has to say. Hit thumbs up and subscribe. There we go.
Okay.
All right. I was just looking to see.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nothing going on, and then the attorney really wants to talk to me.
Okay.
Did you hear about that? I
No.
think it's nothing.
Your attorney for.
Our divorce case.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, her
we
divorce
got a new
attorney
judge.
wants to.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay. All right. Let's.
Interesting thing to bring up
I
right
didn't
now.
know earlier, but apparently you got a guy in your life named Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about Jeff.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to hide anything.
No, I know you weren't.
I just didn't think to tell you about him. So he's.
But since you asked, I'll tell you everything about him and tell you my suspicions as well.
Mm-hmm.
Been my boyfriend. We've been dating since end of October. Jane actually set us up, which is why Jane thought of him first. And Jane and I had a long talk earlier this week. We went on a walk together and talked about, I wasn't really sure I wanted to continue dating him. We had like a fight at the end of June and it was weird. And then I went away for 2 weeks and just got back, and I asked him to just no contact for a week just so I could kind of figure out whether I wanted to be with him or not.
Just a comment on the last segment. Yeah, I know a lot of people felt this way. Muse Studio said, I didn't click on this video. It was torture enough to have to watch Rash during the trial. I refuse to listen to anything else he has to say. Gives me a rash.
I feel the same way. I do not like him.
Really?
I'm not a fan.
Can you put your finger on it? I mean, do you know what?
I just don't like the way he talks. Everything about him feels he's very lawyery. Does that make sense?
Well,
And I
mean...
I know a few lawyers, but you know what I mean? It's almost like a stereotypical character of a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't play tennis with him, so I don't know him any deeper than that. But that's how he comes across to me.
And I'm always trying to play devil's advocate because, I mean, people do deserve a defense. And he had a job to do.
Ida, thank you.
Thank you very much. Gotta go, guys. Mom duties. I will watch the replay. I just want to say I love your show.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. That was really nice. Yeah, so Rashi, we'll see how it goes with Donna. All right, back to Wendi. He was asked about if he expects Wendi to be arrested too, and basically he said he has no idea, which, yeah, that's fair play.
Did you ask him that?
Monday night after yoga, I sent him an email Monday night.
Yours or his yoga or both?
I don't know what that means. I went to a yoga
Who
class.
went to yoga together or?
Like together.
Okay.
Some guys like yoga.
I'm not judging. I'm just asking.
I go to yoga, or I
And
used
Jeff
to.
goes too?
And he would go with me sometimes.
So Monday night after yoga.
I sent him
This past Monday.
Yep.
this Monday. Yeah, it's July.
I have a feeling that if you're dating Wendi, if you're going to be her boyfriend,
You got to go to yoga with her?
you're going to have to be into whatever she's into because she's driving the bus.
I don't know. I've been to yoga. There's several men that go to yoga.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's a thing. My brother teaches yoga.
yeah.
I don't think that's weird.
No, yoga's fine
Maybe
for
it's
men,
weird in
but
Florida. I don't know.
my point is, I don't think Jeff had the option to say no. You know what I mean?
14th.
Right.
Okay.
I
I got
just
the
sent him an
impression he
email.
wouldn't have said no to her no matter what anyway, though.
No, he was
He
pretty
was pretty
smitten.
sprung.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor guy.
Yeah.
Said, my heart's really heavy and I'm having trouble figuring out what to do. It'd be a lot easier if I just didn't have any contact from you for 1 week, and then we'll kind of figure out where to go from there. And so I haven't had any contact from him.
Was he amicable to that, or did he?
He didn't respond to it. I said, I'm going to take your silence as acceptance. And
Oh, okay. You were in person telling.
No, I emailed him after yoga. He'd been like, let's go out tomorrow, let's go out the next day.
No, I
Who
don't
the
get.
heck emails as much as this family? I never email.
She's like, no, I don't get that personal. I send an email. I wouldn't. Yeah, who sends a let's take a break email? Very immature.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I was dumped by email when I was 19.
Oh.
It was classy.
Wow.
And I have a hard time saying no. And so I didn't say no in person. And then later I wrote him and said, I really just need like a week of silence to get some clarity on where we are.
Okay. So he never responded. Still has not responded.
The only response I had is that I'd bought some presents for Ben for his birthday when Jeff and I went to Destin one time and he had them at his house. And so he brought them. I came to work and there was a bag of the presents from his house. But I had asked him at yoga, I said, oh, when you get a chance, I'm really going to need you to bring those presents because I don't have the boys this week and I could wrap them. And so he just brought the presents so I could wrap them.
When did he bring them?
It must have been Tuesday morning at some point. I think I got to I'm not in the office like 9 to 5 right now because I just finished teaching and students are out of session. And so I have writing deadlines. So I work.
Oh, and speaking of Wendi, you saw a portion. There was a portion of video from her at her son's bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
other
The sultry red dress.
With the sultry
Yeah.
red dress, yeah, and she was saying something like, Abba and I have been dreaming, meaning Dan, have been dreaming about this day for a long time. So invoked Danny's name when it suits her, basically,
Sometimes from home or from a coffee shop. And so I rolled into work sometime mid-morning and they were there. So I don't know what time he was there, but
Journey to Justice says, I did watch the interview with Donna's lawyer, and I did find that I like him a little better afterwards, although I really didn't care for him during Charlie's trial.
He's just yelling less. That's the only difference.
I mean, it was good to see him up close and personable. I mean, doesn't seem like a bad guy, just he's stuck with a couple of tough cases.
could ask my assistant.
But he also says he believes Donna's innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And she's presumed innocent, of course, but I don't know.
No, that's
Lucy
all right.
wants a
Just saying
picture of her with the red dress on.
Oh, yeah.
I think we shared that already, didn't we?
No, we didn't share it.
Or you just showed me?
But yeah, remind me later, Tiffie, and I'll post a picture of her in that red dress.
All right. Yeah, we'll just add it to comments. Let other people make their own decisions.
Yeah, we'll put it on the community tab. And it was just like a 10-second clip that I guess the temple live streamed the event. I don't know if they knew the implications of that, but somebody caught a snippet of it, and it's only that.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Maybe we shouldn't then.
Let's see. It was really inappropriate for podcasts to post those pictures. The boys are off limits, and this was such a huge event for Lincoln, and that should have been the focus. Yeah, and all the pictures I saw of that event had his face blurred. But yeah. A special day for him, and you tend to forget how hard.
But we can still share the photo of just her when they're talking, when she's talking, because he's not even in that.
Yeah,
you got to see the dress, Lucy. Oh my gosh!
But you tend to forget how hard these kids are having it growing up. I mean, I can't imagine being a teenager already. I would never want to do that over again. And then add this on top of that, and they're finding out all these things, and God knows what's that life is like.
You asked him for him on the phone, I guess.
When I saw him at yoga on Monday,
Okay.
I had mentioned to him that I wanted to wrap these presents. I had most of the week without the boys, and I was looking for something to do. I might as well wrap Ben's birthday presents, and so he brought them to the.
So he brought them even after the whole.
I sent no
previous
contact,
stage.
but yeah.
Why would you say? I mean, just what was how long you been seeing Jeff?
since the end of September.
Okay.
Oh, you
All
saw an unblurred picture.
Yes,
Yeah.
not everybody is respecting that. So
Yeah, definitely their photographs shouldn't be out there.
yeah.
And so since September, you all have been seeing each other exclusively?
In the fall, I was dating someone else too, and the
Oh,
relationship
wow.
really evolved around February. You know, I post-divorce, so it's kind of slow to like, but so I jokingly used to call him my special man friend, and around February, he started being more like my boyfriend. He started spending some time with the kids, and they really adore him. And I introduced him as mommy's friend, not as mommy's boyfriend. So they just think of him as Jeffrey, and he plays Star Wars with them. And yeah, so he and I would spend time together on the nights or the days I didn't have the boys. And then when I had the boys, he never stayed over, but he would sometimes join us for dinner. And
People were really rough on her, and I noticed especially women were rough on Wendi after that picture with the low-cut dress, saying her tatas were falling out.
Yeah, somebody just said
Yeah,
that now.
speaking of Bonnie Lee Lopez.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I don't have the right equipment to weigh in on this issue, so I
You
mean,
don't need boobs to notice other people have boobs.
yeah, but I mean, you know, it's not really a guy thing to opine on. But what did you think, Tiffie Lou?
Okay, the way you described it to me was definitely a
Oh,
little
you
bit.
haven't seen it?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
But you described it to me before I saw it.
Mhm.
And I expected it to be way sluttier than what I saw.
Right.
That said, I wouldn't say it's an appropriate type of dress to wear to this kind of event.
Mm.
You know?
All right.
Like that's what you would wear evening out with on a date, not to your son's bar mitzvah.
All right. Fair enough.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Andrew's learning things.
play with the
Mhm.
kids and then go home. And things actually worked great, and I was very happy. And then we went to Gainesville together. He's a social work professor at FSU, and he was teaching a class at Gainesville. And so I didn't have the boys that weekend. I went with him to work on some writing, and we had a great weekend until Saturday night. We went out to dinner. We came home, and he just like was convinced that I'd been cheating on him for months, and like had kept track of it, and was just absolutely convinced that I was cheating on him. And I kept telling him I wasn't, and he just was, I felt like not very trusting of me, and it just made me feel really uncomfortable. And after that happened, I wasn't sure that I wanted to be with him anymore.
Until I found out he was leaving at a convenient time, and then I was all over his plans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what brought this on, the whole not trusting thing.
I mean, I'd been dating someone else in the fall, and so he had asked me, did you see someone else in the fall, kind of once things were good with us, maybe around April, and I said I did, and I told him about it, and he felt like, I don't know, he was jealous of him, and he was like, I don't want you to see him, and the guy I was dating was leaving town. And so I said, well, I want to, go get coffee for him.
This is a good point, HH, dude. She was way stuffier earlier. Now all of a sudden her voice sounds a little bit more clear.
Yeah, she
You
really
know?
does like to rock the stuffy doze,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Whatever.
she cleared up.
Yeah.
With him before I leave town, and he said, like, I really, I don't want you to do that. And we had an argument about it, and I went and had coffee with him anyway, and he ended up at the same coffee shop at the same time and saw us having coffee and got really angry. But
What was that?
that was May,
May.
like mid to late May, maybe.
Okay. Well, do you think it was a coincidence, or do you think he intentionally went?
I think it was a total coincidence.
No, I think you were cheating on him.
I was only
I think he was never really your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And this has been planned for a while. And he was the perfect target.
Certainly not exclusive. I don't think they
Mhm.
were going steady, as they used to say.
30
Right.
minutes, and yeah, I think it just is a small town. Picks up
All right. What kind of car does Jeff drive?
I'm really bad with this. It's silver colored. I think it's a Nissan. It's very old and very rundown.
All right. While Wendy's trying to describe a car, thank you for the reminder, Sparkles. We have a membership program. You can support our channel and get a couple exclusive videos at the same time. Go to the membership tab, $2.99 a month, and check it out. See if it's for you.
Silver Nissan.
Gray, silver.
Okay. You don't know what year or how many doors?
Special
or
man
anything?
friend.
I want to say 2 doors.
2-door.
And I don't know what year it is. I have no idea.
You pretty sure about the 2-door?
I'm pretty sure. I feel like, yeah,
Is it his car exclusively?
exclusively. He doesn't even have to share it with anyone.
Okay. Does he live alone? Where does he live?
He lives in an apartment complex. I've actually only been over there once because he was kind of embarrassed. He lives, it's a basement
What?
apartment and it's off.
He was embarrassed to have her over.
Because she's all rich and he's not.
Yeah, I don't know.
guess.
Park Street. I think it's called Victory Gardens.
Yeah, a lot of people have said this. She could play
I've heard
Elizabeth
that.
Holmes in
just
a
with
movie.
the eyes. It's
Right, or certainly
Yeah.
the same actress could portray both of them. I think easily, but
Mhm.
it's the stare. Yeah, it's and the confidence that people are going to believe everything that's coming out
Oh
of your
yeah,
mouth.
yeah. Well, she believes it, so it's
Yep.
easier to sell it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's off. It's like between Park and Appalachia.
Mm-hmm. It's off Victory Garden. You don't know the name of the complex?
I thought that's the name of it. Is Victory Gardens a road?
Victory Gardens a road, yeah.
I thought that was the name of the apartment.
That's all right.
Is it, is it close to Park Avenue, or is it closer to, or is it halfway down?
It's if you turn
I didn't know there was another cop in there. Who's that voice?
left, if you're on Park and you're
Yeah.
heading towards downtown, if you turn left, it's on your right.
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm sorry, I'm investigating.
Oh, she didn't know he was there either. Oh, that's nice.
All right, let's see. I would go back a little bit. Let's see who this guy is. I'm sorry, who are you?
Downtown, if you turn left, it's on your right.
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm sorry, I'm Investigator Cherry. I've got a couple of questions if I can
Okay.
just jump in
Go
real
ahead.
quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, we asked earlier about Danny's passcodes to his phone and his iPad and all his stuff. Okay,
I can tell you one that he used to have back in the day.
yeah, let me have that one.
God, it's the only one I can think of though.
It's okay.
I know a passcode used to be.
You're sick, Wesley. Sick, I say.
And then she looks up, oh, who are you?
Meme 1. It was MERAGLIM 1.
I'm sorry, M-E.
E is an elephant. There, RAGLIM. Araglim 1.
1.
But this is like.
Profile here. I got that. Well, here's the thing. I got 3 kids, and we've downloaded a lot of games on our phones and our iPad and everything, and the little buggers will try to know the passcode. Now, Danny seemed very involved with his children. I got that sense as soon as I stepped in the house. Is there any chance that the kids
Maybe
may
they know that iPad code. They might.
All right, when we get a chance, can we just double check and see that? Because that might help us out.
Can I ask them? Rather than you. I just think.
Oh, no.
No, you're gonna be the one
Yeah, I want you to ask them.
Absolutely. They know. I don't have an iPad, but my parents do, and they know, like, what's the secret code, so they would know if Abba had a secret. That's what they call Danny. They call
Yeah.
him Abba. They would know if Abba had a secret code. What's the secret code?
Right.
So I can ask them in a way that.
Yeah, and so the iPad and the phone, if they know.
Does his
Give me
phone have a
the-
passcode? Do you have his phone? Yeah.
Let's get it. Here's the kid's date of birth.
I was thinking.
My own daughter tried to keep her passcode secret from me. I don't think things work that way.
Maybe that. I mean, I don't know. Usually people use
But she does know my passcode too.
Mhm, I know.
So
I don't even know your passcode. I always have to ask you.
it's like dogs. We don't have a dog. You didn't have a dog growing up.
Yeah. Well, the texts are telling me that it was possibly a number. Like mine's a number, and not
That's
necessarily a
what
word.
yeah, I would think it would be a number.
So I was thinking maybe birthdays and whatnot.
Yeah. So
One son's birthday is July 29, 2009.
Which was that?
just so frustrating that, I mean,
That's
as we listen to these questions,
the
she's
other
being
one's
asked about
October
just names
13th,
and numbers and people and places.
2013.
It's just frustrating to me,
2013.
of course, 2020 hindsight, but the missed opportunity to see how she would have reacted if somebody put the screws to her in this
They
interrogation.
were so kind to her.
You know, maybe push her a little bit, but yeah, we didn't get that.
Okay, just let me know.
Wait, so I will.
She
if I
likes
see
him.
them and it's appropriate, I'll ask them. And
She's like, yeah, Jeff and I are over.
Well,
I'm
you can try
single.
The 2-day verse now.
oh yeah, no, of course. I just meant in terms of asking them what Nava's good code.
And it's maybe important to kind of get that out of the way.
I know. I just meant like I haven't seen my kids.
No, I understand that. I understand that. And it is.
As soon as I see them and I can be like, does Atlin have an iPad? You know, does Ava has an iPad? What's his code? I'll ask as soon as I can ask. Right?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So that's, is that Hebrew, the Ava?
Yeah.
Okay, that's father? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know that like abuela for Spanish is
Yeah,
grandmother.
okay. It's in the Bible, dude. Just, you know.
Probably from the same root.
Right, Sarah?
Do you speak Spanish?
No, I probably should, but I don't.
I do.
Okay. The guy that you were seeing in the fall that Jeff got jealous of and
His
saw
name's Daniel
Daniel. Daniel what?
Sack.
Wait, okay, so she was dating a man named Daniel.
While she was dating Jeff.
Yeah.
Sack?
SACK. He's moved. So he was, he and I actually went to college together, and I randomly found out that he was still in Tallahassee. But he was really eager to leave Tallahassee. He wanted to be in the Northeast. And so.
Law student?
No, he's teaching at the theater department. So we knew each other in college and then lost track for 12 years. And then he ended up getting hired by the theater department here. Yeah.
But since left?
Since, yeah, in May, at the end of May, he moved to Amherst to start a job there.
Connecticut?
Massachusetts.
In May?
Yeah, end of May, maybe early June, something like that.
Is Amherst a college?
Yeah, but he's at UMass Amherst.
Okay.
My stomach really hurts.
Can you imagine being the
No, I don't
ones
know
that
that
got
I've been
away
for a long time.
that have dated Wendy in the past?
Couldn't stop that.
I wonder if she's dated anybody in the last
And
few
you saw him
years or
briefly
so.
at the
Doesn't
same
she have a
time?
boyfriend now?
In the fall,
Uh,
yeah. I had actually
I thought that
Probably.
was already
Wasn't
shared or
super,
talked
but
about.
I
Yeah.
wasn't exclusive with
That's-
either one, or so I dated them both until things with until I realized like Danielle just was gonna leave, and I thought Jeff had potential. So
But let's get back to the Saturday. I guess
Potential
this
for
was
what,
this
though?
Yeah.
that
Sorry.
he got mad
when I
about.
got mad, it was June 28th.
Oh,
It was
Wesley
before-
says she's dating a cop.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought she was dating someone. Yeah.
Interesting. You'd think that would be somebody that can sniff out bullshit. How is this audio so much clearer? Oh, yeah, Judy, thanks for asking. I put it through, I subscribe to Adobe podcast services, and they have a service, a artificial intelligence audio cleaner upper.
Yeah, he basically hooked up with a robot and
Audio
got them to do
enhancer.
his work for
Yeah.
him.
So, yeah, I was pretty pleased with the way it came out.
I left for Miami with the boys.
Okay.
So, yeah, he got really mad.
Well, what sparked that?
That was what was really sort of surprising, is Daniel had been gone. We'd had a month of like really, really great times, very happy month, and we went out to a nice dinner with friends and then got back to the hotel room, and I could just tell he was upset. And so for me, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Was that in Gainesville?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when Jeff wanted to look at your phone or something?
Yeah. Did Jay tell you that?
Yeah.
Or yeah. So he had
Oh.
said that he wouldn't. It wasn't that time, but he had said, you know, you know, like if Jeff would be over and I was doing something, I would leave my phone out. I have this like old agenda book. I'd leave that out, and basically he said, that he like saw that I had called Daniel, and he saw it.
Daniel Sack?
Okay. Sorry, that's why I said there's Danny and then there's Daniel.
Gotcha.
It's probably a situation where Jeff thought they were probably a little bit more exclusive than they actually were, you know, and found out. Interesting. Man, I am so glad I'm not in the dating game these days.
You better remember that every day.
So it had really upset me that he had gone through my phone and that he had, I mean, I was just, the whole time I was just kind of crying. I was just really sad. I felt like we had a great relationship, and his behavior made me think that I couldn't really be with someone like that. And I didn't really say much other than I was just really like, no, I didn't cheat on you. Like, yes, I saw Daniel in the fall. Like, no, I haven't seen him more than as a friend since February. And like, if you don't trust me, we can't really do this. So, and then he was, you know, really sad and apologetic and was like, oh my God, you know, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me and I'm going to lose you. And I never really thought I would be in the police station talking about my relationship.
Well,
I understand that it's potentially relevant.
so,
and then millions are listening to it years later on YouTube. It is kind of wild that things end up the way that they do.
when this was on the 28th of June in Gainesville.
Yes, we drove back that Sunday morning, and I cried the whole way. We drove back to the house, and I told them, like, my parents don't believe that I can drive the boys down to South Florida by myself, so they like to drive up and help me drive down with them. So my folks were coming up.
So they don't.
You're a grown freaking adult with 2 children, and they don't think you can drive alone for a few hours?
Yeah, that's an interesting peek into the family dynamics there.
Interesting.
I wonder how much of that spilled over to. It seemed, yeah.
That Sunday. So Jeff left. I had a couple of hours. My parents came up, and then Monday morning I went and picked up the kids, and that was the weekend that Amy was visiting, Danny's girlfriend. So that was my first time meeting Amy. So I went to our former house, and I was really, you know, anxious to meet Amy and kind of sad about 620. Sad about the whole thing. And so my dad was like, well, I'll stand with you. So my dad stood next to me on the doorbell, and Amy was perfectly lovely, and I picked up the kids, and they seemed really happy, and got in the car and said goodbye.
Okay. That was Monday.
Yeah.
And
then I was in Coral Springs or Miami with my folks, and my other brother came down. It was my dad's 70th birthday on July 5th. So we had a party for him, and I had Skype contact with Danny and the boys. And so after we left the next day, he flew up to New York and was in New York that whole time.
Ooh.
Danny.
Okay.
So Amy went back, and the next day Danny went back to join her. And so he was in New York the whole time I was in. He flew back July 11th.
Okay.
In time to pick up the boys on that Friday afternoon.
Just
Okay.
in time.
Let's
Just
get
in
back
time.
to Jeff after you come back to Tallahassee, and I can't remember what you did.
So I had lost my boys. So I got back to Tallahassee. My parents came with us, and then Saturday morning I took my folks to get a rental car. They left, and I had a cold, and I wasn't.
You
feeling
still
well,
have
so
a cold, and you're trying to use it.
I kind of just was in my house all day Saturday. Sunday, Jeff and I made plans to go see. So Sunday the 11, 12, 7, yeah, Sunday the 13th.
You hadn't seen him since you drove back on the 29th.
That's right. So
I think this is talking about Daniel's or Danny's
Girlfriend.
at the
Yeah.
thank you. Danny's girlfriend at the time he was murdered. Amy is lovely, and Danny was happy because he no longer had to put up with her manipulation. Wow. Yep.
July 13th, I saw him. We went to a movie and then got some dinner, and we're talking, and it was confusing because I missed him, and it was nice to be with him, but I also felt kind of like uncertain given his behavior in Gainesville. I have kids. I feel really protective of, you know, if someone.
That'll be the 13th.
The 13th is when I went out with him.
Okay. That's a Monday?
No, it was a
Sunday.
Monday. And then the 14th was the night I went to yoga, and he came and seemed to want to like go out a lot the rest of the week. And I just knew I needed some some headspace to figure out what to do.
Wendi needed a break.
Right.
All right, we have a few more minutes and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah, please hit thumbs up if you're enjoying yourself, and consider subscribing.
Okay, the 13th you went out with Jeff, went to a movie. The 14th you went to yoga. He went
Yeah.
to yoga.
That's the dinner
But
he talked about.
No discussion.
Right.
Oh, no, you email him later.
And say just I'd like a week off. And I'm sure, I mean, I don't know, like, you can find it in my phone. It'll be in my email track of what I sent to.
And then basically to Jeff saying, I want some time. He doesn't respond, but he brings up gifts on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
But you'd had no contact since the yoga on Monday night.
None.
Okay. Nothing, no contact at all
No
since?
text, no email. I told him, I said no text, no email, no nothing. Like,
Is Jeff a violent person?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Jeff own a gun?
I don't think so. I mean, my guess would be like 100% no, but I guess I was only in his house one time. I mean, he certainly could have a gun and I wouldn't know about it, but he never
Lives by himself.
lives by himself. He'd never talked to me about a gun.
It would be interesting to know if Jeff didn't leave like early. I think he left a day earlier than he said he was going to. If he had actually left on the morning of the 18th, right around the time of the murder, it would be interesting to know how this conversation would have gone. Like if she would have tried to run him over with the bus a little harder.
But because of his change in plans.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the military, so
Oh, he was in the military before?
yeah, he grew up in California. His dad was in the Air Force, and then he was in the Air Force and ended up in Eglin Air Force Base, and he started going to community college and took classes and was really bright and ended up doing a PhD here at FSU and then taught in Arizona and then just got rehired here. Not rehired, but like hired. And that's how Jane knows him, is she's doing a PhD in social work.
Yeah.
Book smarts don't always translate into common sense, do they? She never asked for an update on Dan's condition. Right. Yep.
True.
And
True.
Jeff is a professor in social work.
I'm going to get a picture just to confirm I'm not talking about the right person.
Probably have him on my
Sure.
phone. And you can find him on FSU, right?
How long has he been back at FSU?
Since August.
And you all met through Jane?
Yeah. No, I just have pictures of my
I just have pictures of my kids and horrible emails from my mother.
and this is for my dad's 70th birthday with mom and dad and the boys.
Oh, good
Wow.
night, Sparkles.
Good night, Sparkles. It was good to see you tonight. Hope to see you on Tuesday.
They're super cute.
We'll wrap up ourselves here
Very
pretty
nice.
shortly.
He's a young 70.
So much for the good audio. What's
Yeah, I was
going
going to
on
say, what is that?
Yeah, the boys have blue eyes. Danny has blue eyes too. And he slowly controls my daughter. The father definitely coming in.
Surprised she
Yeah.
didn't take the opportunity to
I'll
talk
go see if
about
I can-
her own blue eyes.
Get a
Oh, I wanted to call my parents.
Yeah.
Should I wait?
just for a couple minutes more. I'm just going to get a picture so I know that I'm talking about the right person.
Okay.
They'll come from a database.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's leave it there, and then we can pick up next time. I don't know how long we have. The whole thing is like 5 hours or 6 hours, but don't know how long we have left in that. Tiffie Lou,
Yeah.
what are we going to do next week?
I thought it was just going to be more Adelson stuff.
It is. I feel like there's been a drip of Adelson news every day since
it's really weird. It's like,
mhm.
yeah,
It comes out little by little ever since Charlie was convicted, really, a little bit before that.
but it would be nice if we could find more information on Sarah.
Yeah.
What's going on with her? It's been quiet over there.
Michelle Troconis is still in trial,
Mm-hmm.
and they booted a juror today.
Is that filmed?
Yeah. Yep. It's on
Oh.
Law and Crime Network. I
Okay,
believe,
well,
or
we
Court
could-
TV.
We could bring up some of that.
But yeah. Oh, and then tonight, what time is it?
It is 8:04.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's on at 8 or 9, but the big Dateline.
Yeah,
is
they were
on
talking
tonight.
about that earlier in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you East
Mhm.
Coasters got to see it.
Yeah,
earlier.
we have not seen it yet. So
yeah.
a
So
lot of chatting going on in this about that, by the way.
all right. Well, we really enjoyed chatting with you tonight and having you along as our guests. And
Oh yeah, Lucy doesn't want you to forget Wendy's picture in the sultry dress.
I will go do that right after
Oops.
after
Whoops.
we wrap up. We'll post the sultry dress. And
Yes, I saw that, Nanya. It was pushed back to like May.
yes.
Gosh.
Right.
We'll
We're talking
see
about
now.
talking about Sarah Boone. Sometime in May is the next quote unquote trial date that is scheduled. So
Yeah.
but it looks like she's got things together with this latest attorney, William Hobson.
Well, she hasn't been bothering anybody, so
Hasn't been bothering anybody. He's got her to stop writing letters,
yeah.
maybe, and hired an expert. And who knows? It'd be interesting to see what her defense is.
Yeah.
Who had the tougher case, Dan Rashbaum or Winston Hobson?
That's a question for community tab.
Yep.
Ooh,
All right.
yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Remember,
well,
she's still She's still innocent.
that's right.
She's still presumed innocent.
She is.
It's hard to say that, but
Yep. Got to give her her rights. You know, and we'll see how it shakes out. But
All right. Thanks
all
for
right.
coming, everyone. Have a great evening,
Yep.
and we will see you on Tuesday.
Good night, everybody. Love ya.